Welcome to Pest Control Unlocked. I'm Konstantin Schwartz. For the last 5 episodes, we've been talking about the business and expectations for the future, the control tower, the biosystems integrator, the commercial risk agreements. But today, we leave the factory floor and head to the suburbs. We're talking about the residential customer of 2030. Now, there is a myth we need to bust right away. You often hear pundits say the economy is tough, people are cutting back, pest control is a luxury. Nothing could be further from the truth. The data says the exact opposite. We're witnessing a massive economic convergence that is creating the perfect storm for our industry. Let's look at the macro trends driving this. First, the biological pressure. Global data shows that warmer winters are extending the breeding seasons by an average of 14 days per decade. The insect and rodent pressures are objectively getting worse. Second, the housing stock. The average American home is now 40 years old. It has cracks, gaps, and settling foundations. It requires constant defense. Third, the work from home revolution. We're spending 40% more waking hours in our homes than we did in 2019. You might ignore pest infestation if you're at the office all day, but you will not tolerate it if it appears when you're at home and you are aware of it. We're seeing a shift where pest control is moving from a grudge purchase to an essential utility. And who's buying this utility? On one side, you have the baby boomers and Gen X. By 2030, they will still control over 60% of household wealth. They are aging in place. They have the capital, but they don't have the desire or the mobility to crawl into attics or spray foundations. They are buying dignity. On the other side, you have the millennials and Gen Z. They're now the largest group of home buyers. They are raising families, but they're suffering from time poverty. They're working, parenting, and managing side hustles. They don't have the time to do it themselves. They are buying convenience. This is the double whammy feeding the DIFM economy, the do-it-for-me economy. Whether the customer is 30 or 70, the checkbook is open, but their expectations have changed effectively overnight. They don't want a pestie knocking on their door at dinner time. They don't want to schedule a 4-hour window to let a stranger into their living room. They want the invisible service. Standard internal treatments are already on their way out. The goal is to build a shield so strong that we never have to come inside. So how do we build invisibility? We start by realizing that the battle is no longer fought in the kitchen. It is fought on the envelope of the home. In 2030, we aren't relying on the homeowner to see a bug. We are relying on the connected home to detect the risk. We are monitoring the shell. Here's the workflow of the future. We install smart sensors in the critical risk zones that the homeowners never look at: the crawl space, the attic, and the garage. Let's take rodents. In the old world, you found out you had mice when you saw the droppings. That is a failure of the system. In 2030, we use sensors and motion detectors in the attic and in crawl spaces. These sensors can distinguish between the wind rattling event and the scratching sound of a roof rat trying to chew through a soffit. The moment that scratching starts, the data goes to the pest control cloud. The system automatically flags the home as vulnerable. It alerts the technician. Activity in Zone 1, the attic. Dispatching for exclusion check. We treat the cause, the entry point, not the symptom, the roof rat. And we do it all before the rodent ever reaches the living space. This brings us to the core philosophy of the modern service: exterior dominance. For 50 years, the industry standard was intrusive. Knock on the door, put on boot covers, spray the baseboards, place the family. That model is obsolete. In 2030, 100% of the standard maintenance happens outside. We use predictive exterior baiting and smart cameras at entry points. We create a virtual moat around the house. This is especially critical for rodent control. We aren't putting snap traps behind the fridge anymore. That is reactive. We're using smart stations around the perimeter of the garden and the foundation. These aren't just plastic boxes. They are connected devices. When a rodent enters a station, the technician gets a notification. Station 5, activity confirmed. We intercept the ant colony in the garden. We reduce the population pressure outside so they never feel the need to come inside. The technician arrives. They don't ring the doorbell. They don't disturb the baby sleeping. They service the digital perimeter. They empty the smart stations. They seal the weep holes. The logic is simple. If we win the battle outside, we never have to fight inside. The customer gets a notification on their phone. Your shield has been reinforced. Rodent activity identified and intercepted at the perimeter. Your home is secure. This solves the single biggest friction point in our industry: scheduling. No more missed appointments, no more locked doors. The service just happens like a utility. We also have to address the elephant in the room, the use of chemicals. For the older generation, the smell of chemical inside the house meant it's working. It was the smell of money well spent. For the younger generation, that smell triggers a primal fear. It signals toxicity. To them, a lingering odor isn't proof of potency. It is a warning sign. It implies that you have compromised the air quality of their sanctuary and potentially impacted the long-term health of their family. If a technician has to come inside and spray, the customer feels like the system has failed. The expectation for 2030 is safety by design. This is why exterior dominance is the ultimate sales pitch for parents and pet owners. By moving the rodent control and the barrier application to the exterior, we're removing dangerous snap traps and chemical exposure from the pantry and the laundry room. Eco-friendly and pet-safe are not premium upsells. They're the minimum viable product. We keep the control measures away from the kids and the cats. The pitch is simple. We stop the pests where they live, so they never come to where you live. Finally, let's talk about how we get paid. The pay-per-visit model feels like a transaction. It feels like a bill for a specific task. The customer of 2030 lives on subscriptions. Netflix, Amazon Prime, Spotify. They pay for peace of mind, not for labor hours. We're moving to a tiered subscription model. Tier 1, the invisible shield, exterior defense and smart rodent stations. Tier 2, the smart shell, includes crawl space and attic monitoring. Tier 3, the sanctuary package, includes mosquito, wildlife, and termite warranties. The money comes out automatically every month. The customer has price certainty. We have revenue density. We are no longer the bug man they call when they see a spider. We are the utility they pay to ensure the sanctuary remains secure. So we have the commercial strategy locked down. We have the residential strategy locked down. We have built the company of 2030. But there's one final trap waiting for us, and it's a dangerous one. You can have the best technology in the world. You can have the most loyal customers in the market. But if you try to build for this new value using an old invoice, you will go broke. If you're saving a factory $10 million in risk, you cannot charge them by the hour. If you're providing a homeowner with invisible peace of mind, you cannot charge them per visit. The old math of labor plus chemicals equals price is long dead and long gone. So how do you price invisibility? How do you put a price tag on certainty? Next week, we open the books. Episode 7, The Pricing Revolution. We're going to kill the hourly rate once and for all, and we'll show you the 4 financial models that will dominate the next decade. This is Pest Control Unlocked. I'm Konstantin Schwartz. Thank you for listening.